Hey everyone, we're filming a video on the floor today. It's going to be a bit different from my shorts videos. I'm just going to run through all of these movies that I have on VHS that I'm going to add to my fine VHS collection. As you can see on one of my shelves I have right here, I have a lot of VHS tapes. Sorry, that's the door. And some duplicates and whatnot. And these are just going to be movies that I have now watched on VHS that I will add to my collection, some of which are going to be the movies I've reviewed in my little sweaty, the beginnings of sweat going on. I don't want that to get too out of hand. Some of these movies are going to be ones I've done on my VHS Mondays series. Some of them are not going to be. So I just thought, I'd do a little roundup of all these movies that I'm going to add into my collection officially now. And just talk about movies, because that's what I do. Anyway, going in alphabetical order, my first one is Casino. Did a VHS Mondays episode on this film. I feel like became one of my favorite Scorsese films after watching it. I just love how non-stop it is, and just the attitude of the movie and the attitude of the characters. Everyone's just such a scumbag, but that's kind of why it works weirdly. And I don't know if you can say that for a lot of films. I think Scorsese just knows how to manage these crazy, larger-than-life characters who have these kind of very set goals, and they'll just kind of go out of their way to accomplish those goals, even though, you're hurting a lot of people in the process. But yeah, great film. Comes on 2 VHS tapes. Love the vibe of those types of movies when you're watching it on VHS. Like, it's a real epic. Casino. Great stuff. The Core. Now, this is another movie I did a VHS Mondays episode on. I don't think many people saw that one. But I really enjoyed this film for what it was. Kind of a simple disaster movie premise. You got to get a group of characters together, and you just got a great cast of people right here. I love Aaron Eckhart and Delroy Lindo. He's great. Stanley Tucci, right? Yeah, Stanley Tucci. I always feel like I'm gonna say Mark Strong instead of Stanley Tucci because they kind of look similar, I guess. Not really. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe they do. But yeah, I mean, in terms of disaster movies, this doesn't change up the formula, but I think just having a good cast of characters, and I like seeing all these characters trapped in this impossible situation and how they deal with it. So nothing too fancy, but I had a lot of fun with it. So The Core, I would recommend checking it out if you haven't. I'm not the biggest disaster movie dude. So sometimes those movies can kind of be like, I just don't care. But that one, I think the cast was the key to getting me to care, because I like a lot of those actors. The Doors. Now this one I also did a VHS Mondays episode about. And I'm glad people did seem to watch and enjoy that review. Just a trip of a film, just undeniable. Val Kilmer is just impossibly good as Jim Morrison. The perfect casting, I would say. And Oliver Stone, I think, does a lot to kind of just fuel the spirit of this film and make it what it is. It's just a complete trip. And even though I don't know, and I said this in my VHS Mondays review, where I'm like, it does feel like I'm not sure what the overall point is supposed to be, or what am I supposed to get out of this, but I think just the experience of watching the movie is more or less the point. Kind of, you're seeing this brief blip in time where Jim Morrison and the Doors are just kind of ruling the world with, their kind of psychedelic rock weirdness. And it works pretty well. And, obviously you're going along with Jim Morrison a lot in this film. And, Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison, as I said, just perfect casting. Great stuff. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I completely understand if it's not the type of film that you would get into, because it's it's an experience, and one that not everybody would be willing to go on, but I did like it. And I like the music of The Doors, and I know there's some people who are just like, The Doors are terrible, I don't like their music, but I like it, so I don't know. It went down pretty easy for me. Here we have, yeah, I believe this is the first one that I didn't do a VHS Mondays episode on, End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger, directed by Peter Hyams. And yeah, of course, I always love getting VHS tapes that still have like the promotional stuff attached to it, or even like the old pricing. I don't know, I haven't seen win one of over 1,000 prizes, grand prize, a trip to Universal Studios Hollywood, free decoder card inside. So I don't know, I haven't opened it to see if I've won yet, but I know this kind of has, I feel like a lot of people looking back on this movie, they see, oh, you know, it kind of has a goofy appeal to it. It's not great, but, you know, and I guess I would more or less agree with that, but I can't say that I really found this film all that fun. I thought it was kind of a dirge, just like, and we get to the next thing, and the next thing, and I feel like if you have a movie where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger versus like Satan, the devil, you want it to be a bit more exciting than it is. But yeah, just so of its era. I mean, all the like Rob Zombie and Korn and Everlast on the soundtrack, and just there's a lot of great like just of the type of movie tropes you get, like, you know, Arnold's just like, oh, he's like this security guard, and, you know, his wife and kid died. He used to be a cop, but, you know, now, oh, he drinks all day. And you get a great scene where he just like assembles this like makeshift smoothie of old Chinese food, beer, Pepto-Bismol, and a slice of pizza on the floor. Which, I mean, maybe it's worth watching the movie just for that. But yeah, End of Days has its appeal. It's of its time. Kind of has that goofy sort of like, this is so late 90s. And there's definitely like a bit of like Y2K paranoia in there as well. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, maybe give it a watch. But I wouldn't really recommend it if you're looking for like a solid Arnold flick. Like, I don't know, just go with like Commando or something. I don't know. Future Force, another one I did not do a VHS Mondays episode on. I think I watched this before I started doing VHS Mondays, but yeah, if you are familiar with Red Letter Media, you might have seen their episode of Best of the Worst that featured this movie. That's kind of how I was familiar with this film. And yeah, I think I got this at a thrift store for like $1 or something, which I was kind of surprised, because there's a lot of B movies you find where it's like people will know that they have like some sort of like not necessarily good movie, but like it's a B movie that like nerds like me might be willing to pay a bit more for. But I was lucky enough to only find this for $1, and I have to say I don't think I want to pay more than $1 for this film, because it is not very good. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a dog trying to get in to the door, but they'll have to wait. I'm sorry. It'll be a minute. Or no, wait. Yeah, you can come in. Do you want to come in? Okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, we'll leave that in. Why not? This whole thing's going to be unedited. But yeah, David Carradine just seems visibly drunk. You can come in. Come on in. Yeah, there you are. Okay. The dog's in. The dog's in. Sorry, it's okay. Yeah, just filming a thing. It's not really that important. But yeah, it's not very exciting. You definitely will watch this movie to just see David Carradine look visibly drunk throughout the entire movie. I can't say I find much entertainment value outside of that with this movie, but I don't know, mileage may vary. Maybe you'll think it's the most fun, hilarious B-movie you've ever seen. I don't know. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Now this is a case of a movie I've seen before I acquired it on VHS. So I remember a couple years back I watched this on like DVD. The dog wants back out, I believe. Anyway, but I came across the VHS of this, and this is a really good film. I remember, what was it? Yeah, it's from like 1967, 1966, something like that. You know, racial politics and interracial marriage and stuff. Uh, that's a very bland way to describe the film, but yeah. I remember thinking, for being made at the time it was made and talking about the issues that it was talking about, I remember it did come across as like, it didn't feel like too dated or anything. And I think, you know, especially considering the time that it has come from, you know, I thought it was rather good-natured. So yeah, a solid film from what I remember. Yeah, Stanley Kramer, produced and directed by Stanley Kramer. I feel like I've seen another one of his films, but I'm not sure which. Yeah, I guess It's Coming to Dinner. It's a solid film. Heart's War. This is another film that I watched on DVD many years ago, and then I came across this tape of it. I think I got this like in a sale at a local store. They had like buy two, get one free. And I was just like, I need another tape, because I do not remember really having any distinct feeling about this movie when I watched it. It was just like, that washed over me. I guess that happened. It was fine. But maybe I'll give this another watch now that I own it on VHS for no real reason. Hero and the Terror. Now here we get back to another film that I did a VHS Mondays on. I did this, I suppose, in honor of the passing of action legend Chuck Norris, who I will say has never really consistently wowed with his repertoire of films. But this one, it kind of fits in with that, where it's fine. Like, you see Chuck Norris like on the back. He does a kick here or there. And as I mentioned in my VHS Mondays review, Bryn Thayer, she plays like Chuck Norris's love interest in the movie. She's kind of the best part of the movie, because she gets this whole scene where she's sharing like her feelings about getting older and being pregnant. And, you know, I said all this in my review, but I don't know. It was like, for this type of movie, I was glad it just had a moment for this character to like express her like emotions. But other than that, you know, it's like, yep, Chuck Norris has to track down a serial killer. And that is the movie you get. It is not really that particularly interesting. Knockoff. Jean-Claude Van Damme. A little bit of a torn up copy here, but this is actually a movie I've been looking for a long time on VHS. So I just, even though, you know, the condition of the cover isn't that good, I just decided to jump at it. I saw this last year for the first time, and I was so surprised at how wild this film is. I didn't see it on this VHS specifically, but yeah, it's directed by Choi Hark. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. You know, collaborator with John Woo, and a Hong Kong filmmaker in his own right, obviously. And yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme and Choi Hark. Wasn't Double Team directed by Choi Hark, if I'm remembering correctly? Maybe not. But yeah, you also have Rob Schneider in here, which I have to say, Knockoff is one of the few films where I find Rob Schneider tolerable. And I don't know what it is. I think it's just the wacky energy of this movie, and Jean-Claude Van Damme doing these crazy stunts, and just the stunts in general within this film are pretty crazy. There's like moments where you get like a car crashing through a window, and it's like there's dudes standing in front of the window, and they have to like get out of the way of the car at the right time, or they will be dead, type thing. Like, so there's some pretty impressive stuff going on here, and that's what I would definitely say. Watch this for the kind of crazy action and just kind of the crazy spirit of it, because I think you get that kind of unique tone when you have like Hong Kong filmmakers in this era who were like making American action movies. They bring a little bit extra to it, I think. So Knockoff. Definitely recommend that one. Lethal Weapon 4. This was the first video I did for VHS Mondays, and just a solid Lethal Weapon movie. You know exactly what you're in for, and the movie indulges in that. You get a lot of great chemistry between the cast. You get a lot of explosive action set pieces, a lot of humor. it's a good time. Nothing you wouldn't expect from a Lethal Weapon movie. And, you know, I think it's a nice send-off to the franchise. You know, I know there's always talks of Lethal Weapon 5. You can just leave it be. Lethal Weapon, it is okay just being a 20th century artifact, and not in like a bad way, but just it's of its time and it had its place, and I think it's worth indulging in and celebrating it for that. But yeah, I don't know. It's solid stuff. Makes me want to rewatch all the other Lethal Weapon movies, because I have not seen 1 through 3 in a really long time, and I just went into that fourth one, you know, kind of feeling like, well, I don't really need to rewatch the first 3 to get this, and you don't, because I mean the cast, the chemistry between them is just so good that it's just like, oh, I'm already on board. Like Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, so good together. Primal Fear. Yeah, I watched this one. Didn't do a VHS Mondays episode about this. I think I watched this like back in December or something. Crazy. You know, this is one I always knew, like the poster and like, oh, Richard Gere, he has to, you know, help out this guy, Edward Norton. He's like accused of this crime. And I always thought it was like a John Grisham, based on like a John Grisham novel, because it just, the poster, I think, I was just, oh, lawyer, it's a lawyer movie, John Grisham. But no, it's, I think, an original screenplay. Or no, based on the novel by William Deal. Okay. So it is based on a novel, just not a John Grisham novel. But yeah, I would say a solid late 90s type of drama, and very of its time, where it's like, ooh, we have to throw this curveball at you at the very end. And it's like, you didn't, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe there's a bit much of the movie that can kind of hinge on that. But, I mean, just as it is, it's a solid film. Can't say I was like that deeply impressed by it, but I know a lot of people, you know, are like huge fans of this movie. I think especially like at the time. But for what it is now, I think it's a solid film. Definitely one I can see myself rewatching in the future, maybe getting a bit more out of it. I mean, I think all the actors are good. Like Laura Linney's in there as well. And yeah, I mean, Edward Norton, solid. The Quiet Man. This is another one I watched a few months back, before I was doing VHS Mondays videos. Yeah, this is a John Ford directed film. Little romance in Ireland. John Wayne goes back to Ireland and meets Maureen O'Hara, and there's a romance. It's pretty straightforward. It's not the most eventful movie. But you know, it goes down easy. It's a fine little film. Didn't leave that much of a huge impression on me. But yeah, for just like the sake of indulging in film history, it's one worth watching, I would say. Rollerball, 2002. John McTiernan directed film, somehow. I did do a VHS Mondays episode on this. The editing was so difficult for that video, because I was using footage from the trailer, and the trailer is so like quickly edited and just so fast, and it's going everywhere all at once, sort of. And you know, I'm making these videos in like portrait mode, so it's like, oh, I have to like make sure everything's sort of coherent visually, but it's just moving so fast. And I think I was using like a lower quality rip of the trailer, which didn't help, and you know, that's on me. But yeah, it's kind of like End of Days in that it's very of its time, but I don't think it has the same charm that something like End of Days has, where End of Days at least has Arnold. Like here, I mean, you know, Jean Reno, he seems like he would be, you know, the saving grace of this movie. He plays a hammy villain, but everyone's just so bland, and it doesn't help that the rollerball sequences are so poorly filmed. I don't know, you at least want that to be intriguing. But yeah, like I said in my VHS Mondays video, just go watch the original Rollerball instead. Got a pair here that I both did VHS Mondays on, Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. Yeah, two pretty passable buddy cop type movies. I mean, I guess they are kind of cops, but they're not. Yeah, it's a buddy cop movie. It's Rush Hour, but it's not Rush Hour. That definitely seems like why this movie exists. We want another Rush Hour. Get Jackie Chan and some other dude. In this case, Owen Wilson. And yeah, I mean, for what they are, they work pretty well. But I don't know. I wish there was just a bit more to them. But they kind of aim to just be kind of disposable, passable entertainment with some good stuff, like Jackie Chan. Like, he does some pretty good stunt work in there. And Wilson and Chan, they have some decent chemistry, but I don't know. These just don't quite click for me the same way like the first Rush Hour does, where it's like that, I think, is just kind of, you know, it works solidly well. But with these, I don't know. You can watch them, you can have a little fun with them, but they don't quite, I don't know, hit the same, or I don't know. There was just something missing to those films for me. Almost at the end here, we have True Romance, a movie I've seen years ago, and I finally found it on VHS. I've been looking for it for a long time. But yeah, this is just a great film. Script by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott. Great cast. I mean, gosh, you got Gary Oldman in there, and Christopher Walken, Dennis Hopper, I mean, Brad Pitt. Great cast, and just a great little crime story. Has such the 90s-ness of the time-ness that I've been talking about with films, you know, like End of Days or Rollerball. But a really quality film just in its own right, like even separate from like the 90s-ness of it. It's a fun film, definitely one, you know, just worth watching and rewatching. And the last one I have here is White Nights, which is a film I watched last year, and I came across the VHS of this, and this was not a film that I was particularly like, wow, that was a great film. I thought, like, the performances, like, what's the guy's name? Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines. They're both really good in the movie, you know. They're, you know, dancers doing acting, and they're good. Like, I would not have, like, there wasn't any moment in the film where I felt like, oh, these are, like, totally not actors. Like, they're good performers, I think. And I wish the movie kind of focused more on them dancing, because they're really good at dancing, obviously, but, yeah, I don't know, kind of this Cold War drama, these two dancers stuck in the Soviet Union and have to escape. Isabella Rossellini, it's her first film, I believe. But yeah, I guess known probably most for, have that little chyron here that says, like, it includes Say You, Say Me, written and performed by Lionel Richie, 1985 Academy Award winner, Best Original Song. Which I know Lionel Richie, he presented some Oscar this past Academy Awards, and they actually, like, played, like, Say You, Say Me as he came up. And I was like, oh, I just watched that movie fairly recently, so it was kind of a surprise. Because I don't think this film is that remembered outside of that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this has a huge fan base, but yeah. It's fine. That's kind of my takeaway of it. Yeah, I like the style of this VHS, and I love these, you know, these Columbia Pictures, RCA Columbia Pictures the way they package the movies, and like have the little flap on the side. Yeah, it's good. I like that. But anyway, yeah, let me try to get all these in like a stack or something. Maybe just hold these two separate stacks. Just hold them up to the camera. I don't know. Anyway, so these are all these tapes that I'm going to be adding into my VHS collection. I just wanted to talk about them just so I could do a video. little glimmers of sweat. Not, yeah. Anyway, I'm not suffocating. I will drink some water. I will turn on a fan. Don't worry. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to have some other VHS Mondays videos for you pretty soon. If you enjoy videos like this where it's just sort of unedited, just me rambling, sitting down and talking, I don't know, let me know. Maybe I can do something like this more often. But yeah, for now, I hope you all are having a good May, because it is May, and it's crazy to believe, not crazy to believe, it's hard to believe, I suppose, that it's May already. I'm not like a conspiracist about months not existing or something. Like, it's hard to believe that it's May when it's really still September. No. Have a good one. The summer movie season is coming up, so, you know, movies. I don't know what to say. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you in the next one, whatever that may be. And thanks for watching. See ya. Have a good one. I don't know. I don't know how to end videos.